We got two teams with no state tax going head-to-head in the final. Dallas, Tampa Bay, that's where it's at this year. That's what we're looking at as our COVID Cup Stanley Cup Final. What's up? Cody Jansen with you here on 12 Ounce Sports World Hockey Report and Zingo TV channel 761. Show presented by MyBookie.ag. Use promo code 12OZSports when signing up, and they're going to match your deposit up to $1,000. MyBookie.ag, promo code 12OZSports. Ton to get into on the show today. We're going to kick it off. Adam Ermintrout is up next. He's in the bullpen right now. 8:20 Matt Nave's going to come on. Let's talk some goaltenders with him. We got two Russians going head-to-head in the final. 8:40 Stanley Cup final bets. I know Pete's power plays, but hey, I'm here. I got a couple of lines for you I think you're going to want to look at, and I think you're going to enjoy because it's going to be interesting, and we will break it down. But first, Adam Ermintrout presented by VerberoHockey.com, best in custom team apparel. Whatever you want, custom team store, Verbero Hockey is going to get it done today. You want a discount? Shoot us a message. Wherever, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Verbero Hockey will hook you up. And hey, World Hockey Report will save you some money as well. All right, time to welcome on the man himself, Adam Ermintrout. What a series. I really enjoyed that Isles-Tampa series. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm a huge overtime guy. But come on. That was a good series in general. And honestly, if Brock Nelson practiced the shootout more than twice a year, I can't imagine Trotz is doing the shootout in practice too many times. This should be going 7.
Yeah, I mean, if he just went to the backhand, because Vasilevsky bit pretty hard on his forehand fake there when he shot it right at him. But yeah, it was a good series. A lot of people are kind of ripping the Islanders for how they play, but at the same time, I mean, if that's your team who's a shot away or a breakaway away from going to Game 7 of the conference finals, then you don't really care.
Exactly, and can you rip on defensive hockey at this point where it works? I mean, Dallas plays defensive hockey. It's not like Tampa plays terribly defensively, but yet again, that's what wins you games. Having all these studs up front, high-flying, run-and-gun hockey doesn't get you to the Cup Finals. It just doesn't.
No, it doesn't, and I mean, there needs to be some balance where you saw it kind of with the Islanders where they have some good forwards, but they don't really have that go-to guy, which is what I said, and they're great defensively, and I think losing Cizikas hurt them, like just kind of from a motivational guy on the bench standpoint. And I mean, at the end of the day, they didn't really have that guy who they could really look at. Like Barzal's not that guy yet. I don't know if he will be. They had that crucial too many man power play in overtime, and he turned it over 3 times. And then on the Cirelli goal, it just can't happen where he's with them, and then Cirelli just went to the net. Barzal just pizza stop basically and just stood there, so that can't happen. They had some really nice moments, but eventually I think they just ran out of gas.
How about this Cirelli kid? He's got like a Mem Cup OT goal. He's got like an OHL championship overtime goal. Now he's got a goal to send the Lightning to the Stanley Cup. Talk about clutch.
Yeah, and he was frustrated that whole series. Like, they were just saying, oh, he's due, and then it looked like he blew his knee for a bit there when he ran into Lee, but no, definitely clutch, and I mean, he's a really good two-way player, and offer sheet maybe.
Is he that good though? Is he offer sheet good? I honestly don't. I haven't seen enough of him. Like watching him in the series, he looked solid, but like it's not like he's a guy who I'm like, oh, I'm gonna throw him on my top line.
No, not a top line guy, but I mean, if you look at a cap team like Tampa, you say we're gonna offer sheet this guy to screw him over type thing.
That's fair. I don't know. I just like the offer sheet thing. Everyone gets thrown around like it's so easy to use, but GMs are weary of it. So that's where it kind of throws me off. I want to get your thoughts on the Isles here. One more thing on them because, man, Game 1 was pathetic. Like, they got run out of the building. I didn't have any faith in their goaltenders. And then Varlamov pulls through and he played fine. I mean, I said, hey, for them to win games, he's got to allow nothing or 1. Can't allow more than one. If it's 2 or 3, you're losing the hockey game with this Islanders team. And I mean, for the most part, I was proven correct there. Do you still have faith in Varlamov as a starting goaltender? And a part B on this question as well is, with Thomas Greiss, I believe he's a UFA. Like, is someone going to go after him? They got Sorokin coming, so I don't see them re-signing him. Where do the Isles go from here?
That's a good question. I mean, if you look at the 3 of the 4 teams left, they've pretty much been platoons, like the 1A, 1B, where Leonard and Fleury, and then Hudobin and Bishop in the regular season, and then the Islanders guys, and then Tampa doesn't really count because they have a top 3 goalie where, I mean, he's one of the last guys who can be a 65-game guy. But yeah, I think they just let Varlamov and Sorokin run the ship and let Greiss walk. I mean, you saw what Shesterkin did this year after coming over from the K, and by all accounts, Sorokin should be the same.
It's an interesting point for sure. Now, we'll move on to Tampa. Let's give them some praise. Hey, they beat an Islanders team that's not easy to beat. I think that is about as far as I'll go. I don't think that they were overly impressive. I don't think they're the most resilient bunch I've ever seen. But it's obviously clear Braden Point stirs the drink for Tampa, and it doesn't matter how pissed off their fans want to get on Twitter. Like, it's a clear point by now. They were 4-0 when Braden Point was in the lineup, and they were 0-2 when he wasn't there.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember a couple of years ago I was listening to John Cooper, and they said Braden Point probably doesn't have the best shot on your team. He's probably not the fastest. He might not be the smartest or biggest, but he's probably your best player. And that's how it is. Like, he's not the most skilled guy. He just stirs a drink for them. And you look at Kucherov. When Point was out of the lineup, basically Kucherov was too. Yeah, and I think this is the type of guy they've been missing, where they have some really good players, but this is like the it guy they've been missing.
I agree. Give me your thoughts on Kucherov's series. He put up points. I mean, 5 of them came in the first game when anyone with skates was putting up points. But end of the day, made some good plays. He also is very lucky that the Isles have little to no offensive ability, especially in transition.
Yeah, like, he's a really skilled player. Like, I'll give him that. And he's really nice on the power play and all that. There's a couple times yesterday where he tried forcing some plays and getting a little too cute with it, where it was basically he was asking for it to be an odd man rush the other way, and I don't know, Point does a lot for him.
No kidding. Now, Victor Hedman. Adam, we don't get to watch too much of Tampa Bay. They play in the middle of nowhere, Florida. That's way far away from here, so it's tough, obviously, to get a tune in to Fox Sun Southwest or Sun, whatever they're on. So we don't get to watch too much of Hedman. But did he impress you in this series? Because for me, as a guy who always said, hey, Hedman's a good defenseman, but I don't know if he's really leadership material on Tampa Bay. I think he's really taken a turn for the better. I mean, he was part of that young core that struggled, and I mean, was he injured in 2015 or not? I don't think he was injured in 2015. Obviously, last year against Columbus, yes. But I mean, all in all, I was impressed by him. But I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, what is he, like 6'5", 6'6"? He skates as good as anyone. He's big and strong, and I think he's probably the best defenseman in the league at this point. Like, he's so good. He's on their power play, penalty kills. He does a lot for them, and I mean, you mentioned off the top the state tax thing. What they get him at $8 million, and then you go to a team like LA or San Jose where their guys are at $11 million because the tax is so high. So that's just how it works. And I mean, we say that state tax doesn't matter, but it really does.
Oh, 100% it does. And anyone who says it doesn't matter is an absolute idiot. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it. I feel like you're almost cheating, though, when you say that Hedman's the best, because, hey, you've been a huge Miro Heiskanen fan, and this is an exciting matchup. I mean, I'm not going to call Hedman old school, but he's definitely not fresh meat anymore, and the Bolts are going to have a whole new challenge when it comes to Dallas, because they play a style unlike anyone else. Like, if I'm going through the three boxes here. Offense, I'm ticking off Tampa. Defense, I'm ticking off Dallas. Goaltending, I'll call it a wash just with how Hudobin's playing. But generally, I mean, you're ticking off Vasilevsky here. But defense wins championships, Adam. I mean, if you've got guys like Essa Lindell eating slap shots for dinner, and you've got Heiskanen, you've got Klingberg is unbelievable at walking the line and getting shots through. I mean, we know how Vasilevsky struggles with that battle factor in front. He's not the biggest guy by any means, but this is going to be a heck of a series. And what are some of the things that come to your mind when you are looking at a preview for this?
I think Tampa's got a lot of credit for getting guys like Coleman and Goodrow and kind of rounding out their team from a skill to a more physical group. But you look at Dallas, and Dallas, I think, can run teams out of the building, or they can beat you with their speed, and that's something to watch for. And everyone's picked against Dallas like this whole playoffs, like after
that's me. That's
how they
me.
looked kind of the start, and then how they looked at the start against Calgary, and then I don't know. I think they just have it. Like against Vegas, people were saying Vegas in 5 and Vegas in 6, and it was Dallas in 5, and they just. How many times have they scored like goals in bunches where they just don't go away? And I think they can smell blood, right? Like if Ben and Pavelski, we've been saying it the whole playoffs, if they get 40 or 50 points in the regular season, you'll be like, that's kind of an off season for them. But then they get to the playoffs, they get to some big goals, and Ben has 70 hits, then I think that kind of does it. And I mean, Tampa's good, but Point, like, he stirs a drink for them, and if he's healthy in the series, maybe I pick them, but he's wincing every time he got to the bench yesterday.
Dallas is one of the most versatile teams I've seen in such a long time, where they can go and just put up a bunch. They can put up a field goal, no problem, and they can also lock it down with the best. Like, when you think back at them, and I'm just talking recent years here, like St. Louis couldn't do it, Washington couldn't do it, Pittsburgh... No, I don't think Pittsburgh was as locked down at times. Like, there's not many teams in the NHL that can do what Dallas has done, where they can go to war and their guns can be firing. They can put 6 in, no problem. They can also lock it down. And, I mean, no shots coming or no high danger chances coming. Things like that. They're a very well-rounded bunch. Man, Anton Hudobin's made me look like such an idiot for so long, saying that I worry about him, and all he's done is put up a .950 save percentage. So, man, how do you bet against Dallas in this series? Like, I'll get your prediction at the end, but I wanted to move on to talk some more NHL news while I got you here. The Minnesota Wild. What on earth are they doing? I mean... Eric Stahl, if you think that, I guess we're not in the dressing room, right? But to me, that just felt like such a weird move and almost insignificant for the return they got.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I was like, okay, like, it's probably Johansson in a pick or something, and Minnesota's trying to fix their center position. Like, they got Bukestad, and they're letting Galchenyuk go, I guess, but it was just weird. And I mean, from Stahl's standpoint, it seemed like he was pretty content with just kind of like not rotting in Minnesota, but just ending in Minnesota, where he's building a home. He's nixed trades to Boston. He took less from Paul Fenton, and then didn't even have Buffalo on his no trade list because, like, he's like, why would Buffalo make sense? And I mean, in all honesty, it's a great move for the Sabres, right? And there's a connection with their new GM, Kevin Adams, who would have played with Stahl in Carolina. But, like, I don't know what Minnesota's doing, because Buffalo signed Johansson to play with Eichel, and then all of a sudden he was a second-line center, never really played center in his life. And then Minnesota's like, yeah, I think we can make him a center. So clearly that doesn't work. See Jonathan Drouin in Montreal. Like, if Minnesota... Like, I really don't get it, honestly. Like, they don't have any center. You see what happened to Vegas with William Karlsson and Paul Stastny, who really you got nothing out of. And I mean, you run out of guys, and you need a top center to win. Clearly, it's been proven, and Minnesota's nowhere close. I mean, Bill Guerin's got some work to do.
Speaking of trades, there's a ton of rumors. I mean, you got Kemper to Calgary, OEL to Edmonton. Which one do you see more likely? I mean, are we talking about Edmonton getting a defenseman like Oliver Ekman-Larsson? Or are we talking about the Flames getting a potential, franchise-changing goaltender in Darcy Kemper?
Probably the Kemper to Calgary one. I just don't really understand how Edmonton can, or really any team can make $8 million fit in their cap right now. Like, if you're Edmonton, you're looking at like a Nurse and a Chase on type deal to free up $8 million. And I mean, if you're Calgary, you got a bunch of cap space. You did lose some draft picks, so maybe that doesn't work. But to fit in $4.5 million for a Vezina caliber goaltender, that's what you want to do for Edmonton, to move pieces around to get a little better on the back end and probably lose a forward. Doesn't make sense when they can't even afford to re-sign Athanasiou, what it looks like. So probably Kemper to Calgary.
For Edmonton, I would say OEL almost is more promising based on the fact that Arizona needs to shed money because they're a dumpster fire. They still have unpaid bills at their rink. Like, what is this, Junior B? I mean, that's pathetic to begin with. If your owner's millionaires and billionaires, that should be the least of your worries. I don't know. That's pathetic in my mind for an NHL franchise to run into that.
Maybe for Edmonton, they like a lot of these like Detroit, Ottawa, Arizona teams, it looks like they're going to take on a guy like, let's say, Chris Russell, whose cap hits $4 million, but he's only owed like 1.5. So like it looks like you're paying them $4 million, but like you're saving $3 million, which screams Arizona.
For sure, but I mean, what I'm saying for OEL would be is that the Oilers can package a guy like either Darnell Nurse or Oscar Klefbom, Adam Larson. Like, you can package one of them, you can package a Chase on in there, and you can package one of your young rookie defensemen. I get it, it sucks. You don't want to have to give up a Caleb Jones. I mean, I don't think you're looking at really Broberg or Ethan Bear, but, like, you've got a ton of young prospects in the pipeline. They're not all going to fit into your top four in the next 3 to 4 years. You got to get rid of them while they got value, and you have a chance to bring in a top-end defenseman. Like, This isn't bringing in, Jonas Brodin. This is bringing in Oliver Ekman-Larsson. And if you can free up the cap space for him, this is your number one guy, which the Oilers desperately need.
And they're hard to trade for. And now I think maybe he's a little cheaper. Maybe it's just Nurse Chase on and a mid-round pick, because if you look at it, Arizona needs to shed money.
No chance they're doing that.
No. Yeah, but like they need to shed money, and they're close to the cap. Like, they're almost trying to get rid of him at this point.
Yeah, that's what it does feel like. Already, I want to talk some World Juniors with you, so we are going to run this one here. Obviously, IHF, they cancel all their other events. They keep the World Juniors running. I'm going to say this before I, ask the question, because I got to get this off my chest right now. If you're pissed off that the IHF is canceling other tournaments, including the Female Women's World Under-18s, which we've already said is a joke that they run at the same time as the World Juniors, but if you're mad that they're canceling that and not the Under-20s, you're either the worst business owner I've ever seen or ever heard of, or you're just completely incompetent with how business works. Because the Under-20 World Juniors, the top flight for men's, they've got one of the largest TV deals in, junior hockey to date. Plus, what it's bringing in exposure and revenue, there's a reason why Hockey Canada is forking over the money for this. And so the Under-18s, which I believe were to be held in Sweden, if they wanted it to be done in a bubble, Hockey Sweden or the Swedish Ice Hockey Federation, whatever the heck it is, would have had to be forking over all of this money, and it would be running a massive deficit. Why? Because they're not getting a big TV deal. That's almost... Adam, this is going to sound terrible. That's one of those cases where you're almost paying someone to broadcast it versus the World Juniors, where TSN is paying millions to broadcast it. It's totally different. But Adam, I want to get your sense, though. I mean, it's going to be in a bubble this year in Edmonton. I like the idea just because we're going to get it. I think it's a little bit weird with the time frame of juniors. But for you, does this have much of an impact because on how you see these prospects? Because I don't know. I think that we could be getting cream of the crop here. I think if the NHL's not going, they're going to let all of their eligible players play in this. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I mean, that like they should be going, and if you look at it won't be as good as the 2005 team because that's the 03 draft, but like the 2005 Dream Lockout team, like that's what happened where like guys literally played in the NHL, then the next year they're in the World Juniors, and you look at a guy like, I don't know, Kirby Doc, like could he be on the World Junior team this year, right? And like there's guys for the States like
is he still eligible?
I think so.
Holy shit. Could
Like,
you
he's 18.
imagine?
Yeah, like or like Jack Hughes, like stuff like that. So it'd be really cool and all that. And as far as no fans go, I mean, you look at the World Championship or you look at
Yeah, there's basically no fans there anyways.
yeah, you look at like the World Juniors when they're in
Europe.
I don't know, like Europe or
Anywhere other than the
Or even-
Czech Republic, because Czech Republic did do good.
Yeah, or even like Buffalo. Like you're not really getting much of a fan experience. Like it's not all like they're in Saskatoon and there's 15,000 Canadian fans packed. It's like there's a couple like whatever, but for the most part, like the fans doesn't matter. Like don't really matter. And they're just kids, right? So there's gonna be like the highs and lows regardless. Like you see it in like a summer hockey event when there's 100 people in the building. So it's just interesting. What are they doing with Rogers Place? So where if they think the dub's gonna start like December 1st or January 1st, like will that not affect like the Oil Kings like in the bubble and all that? Or because obviously there's gonna have to be people there.
Well, I think for the Oil Kings, they are not going to be starting at Rogers Place. I think that's almost been determined. Like, there's no way the dub starts up in mid-December because from what everything I've been told is that the WHL will not start up until teams can travel freely from the States to Canada and players can travel wherever. That's there. I guess that.
Then.
Well, no, that's the thing is that the dub isn't considering any hub scenarios, and you know there's a good amount of Americans in the WHL. If you think about it, there's a lot more Americans than I would say probably 10, 20 years ago, obviously. So, you know, there's a lot of different travel restrictions that need to happen, and so pretty much everyone I've talked to, and I mean that's a lot of people actually in the WHL, have said, yeah, December probably not happening, January maybe. And then for the Oil Kings, what does that matter? Oh, you can't play your first 3 weeks at home, whatever. They'll, you know, you're not getting fans in likely anyways, so take over the Golden Bears hole of a barn, whatever. Like, there's other rinks that you can use. There's a ton of them around. You know, if they have to go to, I don't know, like St. Albert's got a rink there. They got a decent barn. Like, it'd be good enough, right? So they'll figure out a way. They're not playing in front of fans to begin with. So
Interesting.
makes sense. Adam Urban Show, buddy. Hey, thanks for hopping on once again. Brought to you by Verbero Hockey. Adam, I got to get your Stanley Cup final pick before I let you go. Give it to me.
Dallas in 6.
Let's go. Let's go Stars. I knew you weren't going to pick the Tampa Bay Lightning because Nikita Kucherov diving. That's a terrible play. I didn't want to get into that because I knew we were going to run this long already. All right, buddy. Thanks once again.
See ya.
Adam Ermintrout right there, my guest. Brought to you by Verbero Hockey. We're running this late. I already told Neve. I was like, hey, man, running this late. We had so much to get into. We could have talked for hours and hours on end because that's just what we do. NHL news, we already told you. Double IHF, they're holding the World Juniors, Edmonton Hub. Matty Malhotra, new assistant coach in Toronto. You guys already saw the score, 2-1. Anthony Cirelli, overtime winner. And the Wild, they got Eric Stahl. Or no, they send Eric Stahl over to the Sabres. Alrighty, let's step aside. After this, we're going to talk goaltending. And I wanted to dive into it for a while So I'm pretty happy. We got two Russians going head to head in the Stanley Cup Finals. I was going to look up when that happened. Obviously, didn't get into it. We're going to dive into it with Matt and Nafe after this. This is World Hockey Report Live, coming to you on Zingo TV, channel 761.
Verbero did a lot of great things before I arrived as the brand owner. And one of the things they did incredibly well was create this carbon fiber skate. There were some perceived deficiencies from my end, aesthetically and maybe even functionally. The comfort roll edge up on top, softening that material, changing the interior liner to make it a better performing and faster drying liner. We worked to make the skate function better as well by changing the carbon fiber to a Japanese grade carbon fiber that actually relieved about 30% of the carbon fiber weight of the skate. So we added an increase in not only the performance of the skate because of making it lighter, but we are actually getting more flex in the skate because of the quality of the carbon fiber that we altered out.
Try on a pair of skates. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you pick this product up, it's as good, if not better, than any of the top-end product that's out there in the marketplace.
The Mercury skate became incredibly comfortable, and it became more durable, and it also performed better by being able to interact with the foot a lot better through the skating stride. Verbero is living proof of what a skate should cost, a high-end skate with the most advanced materials and construction, right? So if people understand that this is what a skate should cost, eventually they should understand that they shouldn't buy the competitor's skate.
Hold the mask, pinch the nose, gives you a nice fresh air vent, covers the whole chin, or if you're gonna go get a haircut, you can wrap it around your neck, like so.
World Hockey Report Live, Cody Jansen with you here on 12-ounce Sports Zingo TV, channel 761. Happy Friday. Oh boy, do we have hockey to talk about, and the story of the conference finals, goaltending. Before we get into that with Matt and Nafe, Now, we already know you're going to be watching the games from home, so you got to get on board with our official drink of the Cup Final. Refreshingly different Coco Vodka and rum combines real natural coconut water from the Philippines, triple distilled vodka or smooth Puerto Rican white rum, and a splash of sparkling water. Coco Vodka and rum, started by 2 Canadians with a plan, come with a healthier summer drink made with quality ingredients. Ditch those bland seltzer waters that no one actually likes, and opt out of that beer bloat. Coco Vodka and Coco Rum. Absolutely a vacation in a can. Coco Vodka and Rum available at BSW Liquor in Alberta, plus a bunch of others. Check AGLC. They got a bunch of lists there. Also launched in a ton of states down south. Don't forget, order online. EnjoyCoco.com. Enjoy the Coco life with World Hockey Report. Go pick yourself up a case today. Escape with Coco Vodka and Coco Rum, the original refreshing vacation in a can. Check them out. EnjoyCoco.com. That's EnjoyCoco.com. Alrighty. Conference finals. Goaltending, that's my storyline right there, and I'm sticking with it because, end of the day, Vasilevsky outplayed Varlamov, and I mean, like it or not, Varlamov might have had some better numbers at times, might have struggled at other times, but Vasilevsky came with a couple of clutch saves, and I hate to say it because, hey, I still don't know if he's, in my top 2 for NHL goaltenders, but he's been playing great. As has Anton Khudobin, who I've countlessly said is not a starting goaltender, has no chance, has no business being here, and Khudobin has been unbelievable. I mean, this guy is an absolute story and a half. I mean, former Saskatoon Blade, shout out, what's up? Khudobin's been unbelievable, and I can't wait to see it. 2 Russian goaltenders in the finals. We got Matt Naif joining us from out east, the great city of Ottawa. Matt, how's it going on this Friday morning?
Oh, it's going really well, Cody. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. Why? Because we're
You're so good at those ad reads now.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
Hey, practice makes perfect. You don't see that what happens off camera though is like an hour before I'm just reading that out loud in my head. I don't do show prep anymore.
Surprise me.
Yeah, I just read ads constantly. So we got to get through those, buddy. We got 2 Russian, and I mean, people want to call Anton Khudobin from Kazakhstan. I get it. He was born there, but he plays for Russia. If he was, if he wanted to be, what is it, Kazakh? I don't know, Kazakian? I don't even know what
I think it's Kazakh.
Kazakh? That's what I think too. But like, if you wanted to be from Kazakhstan and play for Kazakhstan, you would have done so, not for Russia. So he's Russian in my mind. He's Russian in everybody else's minds. Matt, how did we get here? How on earth does Anton Khudobin outplay Robin Lehner and Marc-Andre Fleury? I mean, is this all a product of how good Dallas is as a team? Or is this just a guy we've been sleeping on like Tim Thomas?
Well, it's hard to say because, I mean, in that Dallas series, or the Dallas versus Vegas series, a lot could be said. Khudobin was the reason they won that. I mean, the guy had a .950 save percentage, was basically unbeatable. And then you have Pete DeBoer saying, "Oh yeah, Thatcher Demko really got in our heads," and then that was it for scoring.
That was a stupid comment, by the way.
Yeah,
Made no sense.
I agree. Maybe just say we couldn't score. Like that was all you really needed to say. With that said, though, I mean, it's hard not to look at what Khudobin's been doing and just applaud him because, he's a 34-year-old, has just grinded as a backup his entire career, and he has such a cool personality. Like, his nickname's Dobby. He has the Harry Potter character on the side of his helmet, and he's just like he's almost a meme at this point, with all of the funny things that he ends up doing. But he has been lights out. A 5'11" goaltender. You love to see it. Representing those undersized goalies. He's been so good. And he moves so quickly down low, can see the puck wherever it's coming from, as we've been able to see. I don't know. I think that Dallas has come a long way, but it's hard to get past their like negative goal differential thing. Like, is the bubble gonna burst in the Stanley Cup final? I guess we'll have to see.
See, I had analytics on it. I was gonna talk with Adam about it, but I didn't because we had so many other things. And I mean, we already ran 5 minutes into your interview. But actually, I'm gonna ask you about this.
Yeah.
Okay, analytics. I get it. Your goal differential sucks, but here's my defense. And in their losses, I feel like they were not really blown out. But hey, when they lost pretty bad.
Yeah.
Does that matter at the end of the day where wins and losses are what matters over your goal differential? Or does it matter that the Calgary Flames smacked you 5-1 on a Monday afternoon in the first round of playoffs? I think that if we're going to talk goal differential from the first couple of rounds, the game's totally changed. These guys are totally dialed in now. I would say that almost their styles have changed. They've tightened up everything. And so I'm not on board with... I totally understand the point that analytics play, but everyone's going, oh, Vegas's expected goals, Vegas's, Corsi, all this stuff. Like, I mean, for one, I don't understand it well enough to have an educated opinion on it, because, like, really, I mean, that's nerd stuff to me. But end of the day, is you win the damn hockey game or you lose the damn hockey game. It's that simple.
Sure. I mean, I don't even think goal differential is an analytics stat as much as it is like a real stat.
But it's kind of like plus minus. Like, some people want to say, oh, plus minus doesn't matter. Isn't that goal differential? That's, I mean, how many goals get scored when you're on versus, how many go in your net versus theirs?
I think goal differential is like, it's like how many goals you're scoring compared to how many goals are scored against you. Like if you have a blowout loss, you lose 10-1 and then you win your next 5 games, 2-1. Like, you're still gonna have next 4 games, I guess. 2-1. You're still gonna have a negative goal differential.
That's what I'm meaning.
Yeah, is it that much to like look into? No, like I would say there have been times where like that doesn't really make sense. But if you're looking at the Vegas series, if you don't think they got outplayed every night, I mean, the last game, in the start of the second, the shots were like 20 something to 8. Like, I don't think that sort of type of hockey is sustainable just because you're propped up by goaltending. I think what Dallas has done is fantastic. I really like a lot of their players. Miro Heiskanen is disgusting. He's the second coming of Erik Karlsson.
He is. I will say it right now. He is not miles ahead. We'll go with kilometers ahead of Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes. It's not even close at this point. Like, Heiskanen can do it way better at the defensive end. He's way better at rushing the puck, and he's way better on the power play than either of those two. I said it. Like, I mean, I've always defended Cale Makar to tooth and nail, but, like, Miro Heiskanen is phenomenal. As you said, like, he is Erik Karlsson 2.0.
Yeah, I actually, like, when I watched the Colorado-Dallas series, which the first 2 games I was like, are you kidding me? Obviously, it didn't help that their starting goalie went down, and then Pavel Francouz kind of just forgot how to be a good goalie because he had a really good season.
2 different seasons.
Yeah, exactly. When, like, I watched Cale Makar and Heiskanen, and honestly, I was actually extremely surprised how good Makar was defensively. I thought he was one of those guys that was, completely offense first. I don't have much of a viewing of him in the East. They play way too late for me, way past my bedtime. But like the second coming of young defensemen is so exciting to see. I was telling my friends about it. Like, I lumped Shabbat in there, but Shabbat's a hell of a defenseman as well. So, Heiskin and Makar are going to be two premier defensemen for years to come. Same with Quinn Hughes. He's absolutely phenomenal as well. But I think Heiskin is a year older, has one more year in the league, and he's just been that good. It's so cool to see. It does absolutely remind me of a young Erik Karlsson. So.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute stud to begin with. Now let's talk. Let's talk some Vasilevsky here, because he was good, but how much of his performance do you give to the Islanders having half a toothpick of offensive skill? I mean, if Brock Nelson took one shootout attempt in the year, he would have he had Vasilevsky biting to the corner. Look at how Devon Taves had Vasilevsky biting all over the place. Like, that wraparound goal is the easiest one he's going to score in his career. Brock Nelson, overtime breakaway, little fake, and he's gotten Vasilevsky sliding to his blocker side. He pulls that and shoots glove, or if he goes to his backhand, it's game over. We got game 7 coming up. I mean,
but he did make the save, did he not?
Well, of course he made the save.
Well,
but
that's all that matters.
It hit him in the chest.
We're going back to the analytics thing. If you're winning games, that's all that matters.
Oh, I'm not saying, I still think that Vasilevsky, is probably the best goalie in the playoffs, probably a front runner for a Conn Smythe here. But are we expecting that same type of performance out of him against a team like Dallas, who has already scored on competent goaltenders? I'm taking that Colorado series out. Cam Talbot had a 9.47 or a 9.37 save percentage.
Cam Talbot was so good.
That's a quality goaltender right there.
Yeah.
Michael Hutchinson, Francois, Grubauer. All in all, that's just an average goaltending tandem that Dallas beat. And then you got Robin Lehner and Marc-Andre Fleury, who are two top 10 goaltenders in the NHL. And Dallas was able to solve them. I know it wasn't pretty at times, but they got it done. The Isles weren't able to solve Vasilevsky. Is he going to be able to keep that thing locked down against a team like Dallas, who they score in multiple fashions? That's what I'll give them credit about.
Yeah.
They can just blast it from the top of the circles, or they've got Jumbo or Little Joe Pavelski in front there, tipping away at the pucks. You got Corey Perry. He's in the crease. He's a shit disturber. They're just so versatile, their offense.
Yeah. I think what we saw was from the Islanders was that, that Tampa series, realistically, if they didn't have a stellar goalie performance from Varlamov, that's a 4-game series. Quite honestly, the Islanders were, beaten in every sense of the word until Varlamov decided he was going to go sicko mode in the playoffs and just be absolutely disgusting. And he was. Varlamov played out of his mind. Whereas Vasilevsky, I believe, one game had to make over 30 saves. One game.
I wouldn't expect him to face 30 shots against the Stars either.
I don't think so, and I think it's going to be a similar kind of series, and that's why if I'm a Dallas fan, I'm hoping the bubble doesn't burst on Khudobin, because we see what Tampa has the capability of doing. If Braden Point is flying, he's flying. Even down to their sixth best forward, who could be like Tyler Johnson or Andre Palat. They've been very good these playoffs as well. It's hard, and then you have Vasilevsky in the back, who has the ability to be that clutch performer. And you were making you said something about breakaways and shootout attempts. I think I'm pretty positive Vasilevsky is like one of the best shootout goalies of all time already.
So he's basically Janner and Juniors. Never lost a shootout, FYI. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. Whereas Matt in Beer League has lost, I'm pretty sure, every shootout it goes to. So hate them even when it decides a championship. The worst thing ever. It is what it is. I'm not salty about it. It's fine. But Vasilevsky, like I think he's phenomenal. He's basically just a big old cat. Can move wherever he needs to. So good. I really like him. I think this Tampa team's going to be really hard to beat.
Wow, shocker! Tampa hard to beat. No, just giving it to you there. I mean, hey, you hit the nail on the head there. I got one more question for you, but I just saw this on Twitter. It popped up. We got a little bit of a conversation going on. It's hilarious. So we asked yesterday, like, why is Komarov still wearing a cage? I honestly don't know. Like, I assume he was injured before the season ended or something. And then we got two people just going at it. Then this person's like, why not? It's better than a visor. Nolan Fowler goes, if you're 15, this guy's like, cages work for goalies pretty well. Like, what? You want a goalie to wear a visor? That was just, that tops the cake for funniest comment I've seen all day. Matt, I know you've covered a ton of World Juniors. I know that. I mean, we've worked together on stuff in the past, and hey, we're going to be working on stuff again this winter because it's unbelievable that we're still getting the World Juniors. They're going forward with the bubble. It's going to be in Edmonton. Yeah. I'm so pumped to hear this. I got Adam's take on it earlier. When you heard this, and I get it, there's so many dominoes that have to fall behind the scenes. Hockey Canada is forking up an incredible amount of money to keep this bubble, or to have this bubble intact once again. TSN's forking out more money than ever for these broadcast rights. Like, when it comes down to that, from your perspective, does this not make it a little bit more exciting knowing that we could be seeing some incredible talent? Think about it. If the NHL's not going, are Chicago going to be like, all right, well, have Kirby Dach, get him in some games. New Jersey, why not have Jack Hughes playing? Like, these could be the best World Juniors of all times. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah, from what I understand is the NHL season starting in December.
Not happening. January.
You don't think so?
No, not going to happen.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
My opinion. I'll bet money on it, but yeah, continue.
If they do start in December, it'll be hard to sell, Kirby Dach leaving and getting important games. But if they start, after the point in which the World Juniors end, how many big injuries have we seen at the World Juniors? Not a whole lot. So, it wouldn't be totally out of the realm of possibility where young NHL players can still go if there's an opportunity to. But, I know that, the Ottawa Senators are going to have two very high picks and two prospects that are definitely going to be playing in the World Juniors unless they take maybe Marco Rossi. But the World Juniors are a staple. I love them so much. I hope they do go through because they're just like quality viewing. You have to watch it. And I think the bubble for the time being is kind of the way to go for sports. If the league permits it, if the organization permits it, and they can make it happen, do it. If the players are okay with playing in front of no fans and leaving their families for, 2 to 4 weeks to however long, do it.
Matt, buddy, I always appreciate your insight. Always appreciate your insight there. We're going to be talking more World Juniors. I got to get your Stanley Cup final prediction, though, before we go.
Tampa in 6.
Tampa in 6. Okay. I guess we're going to have to watch and find out. Matt, buddy, thanks once again for hopping on. Appreciate it.
No problem. Have a good one.
Matt Naif right there, our goalie guru, helping us break down Khudobin. and Vasilevsky. It's going to be a good one. We're going to step aside here. It's World Hockey Report coming to you live, Zingo TV, channel 761.
Verbero did a lot of great things before I arrived as the brand owner. And one of the things they did incredibly well was create this carbon fiber skate. There were some perceived deficiencies from my end, aesthetically and maybe even functionally. The comfort roll edge up on top, softening that material, changing the interior liner to make it a better performing and faster drying liner. We worked to make the skate function better as well by changing the carbon fiber to a Japanese grade carbon fiber that actually relieved about 30% of the carbon fiber weight of the skate. So we added an increase in not only the performance of the skate because of making it lighter, but we are actually getting more flex in the skate because of the quality of the carbon fiber that we altered out.
Try on a pair of skates. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you pick this product up, it's as good, if not better, than any of the top end product that's out there in the marketplace.
The Mercury skate became incredibly comfortable, and it became more durable, and it also performed better by being able to interact with the foot a lot better through the skating stride. Verbero is living proof of what a skate should cost, a high-end skate with the most advanced materials and construction, right? So if people understand that this is what a skate should cost, eventually they should understand that they shouldn't buy the competitor's skate.
Pull the mask, pinch the nose, gives you a nice fresh air vent, covers the whole chin, or if you're gonna go get a haircut, and wrap it around your neck, like so.
I want to tell you guys about 2D Wrap. If you want to keep your drink cold this summer, hey, I mean, it's still warm out there. Don't kid yourself. Time to ditch the traditional koozie. 2D Wrap, the universal drink insulator, fits any beverage, hot or cold. Made in Canada, 2D Wrap, made with high-quality military-grade neoprene. I mean, strong and durable, the best possible. 2D Wrap keeps your drink hot or cold for hours on end. Check them out today, 2DWrap.com. That's TUDIWrap.com for the best drink accessory in the game. Maybe Dave just pumped up my ad reads a little bit too much there. Hey, we got it out. Of course, our Wits Nutrition and Performance question of the day. We asked you guys on Twitter, what's your thoughts? Give me your predictions for this final series, Stanley Cup final in the bubble. It's going to be electric. Few responses coming out. We are going to get to those bets as well. We got all the latest lines for you this one. Stanley Cup final prediction. What's nutrition and performance question of the day brought to you by WNP, the best workout plans, nutrition plans possible. Sherry says, I'm sure it won't be TB. You've made that clear. Hey, we asked for your pick, not ours. Cord buddy. Hope you're enjoying that hat. Hey, I want to see it. Send us a picture. Stars in 6, book it. Oglethorpe says needs to go 7. Hard fought, best hockey we're going to see till December, nothing less. That being said, Bolts in 6. He's tailbacking. Piggybacking? Tailing? Matt and Naif there. Jordan, another World Hockey Report Overtime Challenge winner, says go Stars in 6, same as Adam. Jack, let's go, baby. Lightning in 5. Dion Bent saying Bolts in 5 as well. I'm going to give my prediction. It's coming up at the end of the show, though. Hey, we got some lines to get to. Just to open up the series, let's start with that. Odds to win the 2020 Stanley Cup. Right now, where we're at Tampa Bay, minus 180. That means you got to put 180 down to make 100. Hey, If you got the juice, and you're feeling the bolt, let her fly. Stars 150. So you drop a hundo, you get 150 back. Drop 1,000, get 1,500 back. Now, I don't mind putting that first game down, but if you think about it in the long run, wait till game 1. Because, and I'm not saying the Islanders were the best example here, but they got absolutely pumped and dumped after game 1. Their odds, they flew off the shelf. I think they went to like plus 400, plus 500 to win the series. Brock Nelson scores in overtime. They're 1 win away. And now you got them at plus 500. I'm not saying wait out game 1. I'm just saying that's what I'm going to do here. Let's take a look. Conn Smythe, 2020 Conn Smythe Playoff Trophy as MVP. Where should we start? Should we go from 5 down? Let's go from 5 down because I think there's a couple of notables who weren't included who need to be. Anton Hudobin's at number 5, plus 350 for him if the Stars win. You got to think he's one of the front runners. Number 4, Nikita Kucherov, plus 275. Might as well burn and piss on your money at that rate. Victor Hedman, plus 250 right there at number 3. Miro Heiskanen, plus 200 at number 2. I'm not sure why he's that high. I love Heiskanen and all, but if the Dallas Stars win the Stanley Cup, I don't see any way how Miro Heiskanen is the one, pin in the needle for us. And Braden Point at plus 125. I mean, he has been the Tampa Bay Lightning's engine throughout the playoffs. Notables, not in there. I got Andrei Vasilevsky plus 1,000. I get it, he hasn't had that much work, but if all of a sudden Dallas shows up and starts putting pucks on net, Vasilevsky, I mean, if he's going to start stealing a couple of games, he's got to be in there for Conn Smythe conversations. Jamie Benn, plus 1,100 as well. I mean, that's a leader. That's a heart and soul guy. That's Dallas's Ryan O'Reilly right there. This guy is clutch. This guy does everything the Dallas Stars ask of him. And that's why at plus 1,100. Man, that's not bad. If I got to pick a couple, Anton Hudobin at plus 350 is too good to pass up on. Victor Hedman at plus 250. Those two I would lock in very comfortably right now. Of course, check your bookie to make sure. And go to mybookie.ag. That's where you get the best lines as well. Conn Smythe series, mybookie.ag, promo code 12OZ Sports. When signing up, they'll match your deposit up to $1,000. Thanks once again. Coco Vodka, Coco Rum, Verbero Hockey, Wits Nutrition and Performance, the absolute best. WNP. There's nothing better. If you want a great workout plan, Verbero Hockey as well. I mean, hey, Verbero Hockey, unreal sublimation. I mean, their jerseys, for that price, unbelievable. You can get the pro stock stuff. They got the sticks dropping. They're the lightest on the market. Gloves, pants, everything coming out again. 12-ounce sports, your home for the best sports talk radio. Still to come today. We got Talkman Radio. That's coming live as well. Cows and Quacks College Football Show. Got more college football coming tomorrow as well. Always love that. Hey, thanks again, Adam Ermintrout, Matt Naif, our guests here on World Hockey Report on this Friday. Game 1, Stanley Cup Final. Stars, Lightning, tomorrow. I got the Stars winning in 7. Have yourself a good one. Cody Jansen for Adam Ermintrout, Jeff Beck, the Team 12-Ounce Sports World Hockey Report, Zingo TV. I'm out, and we'll talk to you on Monday.